And in this video, we are going to go over setting up the server for the first time. So when you set your Windows application up and you enter your security code and you actually get connected to the server, you do need to set up what I like to call the skeleton of your business. And what that is you need to set up some base settings around regions, around how you have things named, and then your sources. So this is unfortunately the most boring part of the setup, but the good news is it is a one-time thing. Assuming you have the same sources in all of your regions, which you should if you read that document on preparing for web services, then you'll be able to do this one time and pretty much apply it to any region that you set things up in, and it becomes pretty simple at that point. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you want to go to, let's see where this is. We're going to go to Server System Configuration right here at the bottom. And in System Configuration, you have something called multiplier start signal and the multiplier end signal. What this means is anything in between these two symbols will be considered to be the multiplier. So this has to be consistent on every single one of your machines. You need, even your wheels and your add-ons and so on, you want to make sure that you use a multiplier signal. So if it is a variable, then I would recommend that you use a generic, like if it's a variable that is roughly a 10x, right? Or I shouldn't say roughly. If it's a variable that works its way out to be a 10x type machine, then I would put your 10x in the name of your machine. So using this example here, it'd be open parenthesis 10, close parenthesis. Okay. If you use things like, open parenthesis 2x, close parenthesis, you would like change the end signal here and just say x and then close parenthesis. So now you could say open parenthesis 2x, close parenthesis, and the 2 is in between that, so it would treat that as a 2x. Now, the other thing you can do if you have multipliers on, or if you have games on like wheels and Winx or other such devices, you don't really want to communicate to the player what that is or what the multiplier is. You do have something called multiplier aliases. If you go to server, multiplier aliases, I have a couple here as a sample. And actually, these are kind of old, but these is a sample. Let's just look at this one, like ND1. So this would be, let's just, for whatever reason, you chose ND1 as a tag. You give it a device name. This is for Mega Wheel, and you give it a multiplier to assign. So with ND1, you go back to this thing here, the start signal and end signal. You would put the SL tag here in between your start signal and end signal, which is right here. So you could make a game, for example, you could say, my game, whatever, and then you could say open parentheses. Oh, that's right, I have it filtered, don't I? ND1, so you'd say open parentheses, ND1, close parentheses. And that would assign it a 25x multiplier. So you can give it certain names to not expose the multiplier to your players. This is only needed for the machines themselves. For Mega Wheel add-ons here, you do not need to put the tags in the name of the Mega Wheel. It only has to be on the attached machine. Okay. So these two things are critically important. The next thing you will need to make sure you do is you go to Tools, or excuse me, I'm sorry, you go to Server, Edit Sources. So if you edit sources, this is akin to creating your interceptors in the existing setup. So what you will do is you will click this button here that says create a new source channel. And it says, okay, you're adding a new source channel to the database, enter the channel number. Okay, so let's start off with, let's say 100,000. And you notice down here, it's going to say enter the source name, and it's going to start filling it out for you. That's okay. That's just a optional, it's giving it an optional name. So we're going to say no devil. And now we have no devil 100,000. This name here, the source name, must be unique. So that's why we also put the channel name in there, or channel number in there, just to make it unique here. So if these are like all your solo machines, you could say something like no devil solos 100,000, and it's not connected to an external device because these are solos, and you say okay. And now you have source channel 100,000, connected machine no devil, source name no devil solos 100,000, and external device is an X, meaning it's not connected to it. So let's make another one here, and let's call it 100 100 no devil, and let's connect that to an external device. And now we have 100 100, and it's got a check mark, meaning it's connected to an external device. This here is a button, see, and you can turn this on and off on whether or not this is connected to an external device. So if it is not, if it's only solos, machines, varies, or something that is simply not connected to an external device, leave it as an X, otherwise put a check mark. That is very important because this is needed for setting up add-on configurations, which we're going to show you in a later video, and it's only going to apply to sources named or that have external device enabled. So you need to make sure that this is correct. Okay. Now we also can do an interceptor importer, but I'm going to go through that in another video. So for now, once you have all your sources set up, we're done with sources. And then we need to go to, where are we here? Server, and we're going to say edit known regions. And this is where you're going to enter your region names. These need to be entered in exactly as they are in Second Life. Capitalization matters, spaces matter, everything matters. So it needs to be the exact region name of your region in world, or else it is not going to find it. You also can put a region SOURL, which is something that can be referenced later, which I will show in contests. For now, I don't have it set up, but we can just as easily say edit, and I can just put it there. And now it has a region SOURL. Say this as you would normally do. So you're going to want to set up your regions here and set up your region SOURLs, and then you're done with that. And once you have that done, all your sources and all of your regions set up and your multiplier aliases and your start signal and your end signal configured correctly and all your stuff named in world, you are done with the overwhelming majority of your initial setup. The only thing left is an add-on configuration, and we're going to go over that in the next video.